or third-party support, and so a lot of games and things.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Dreamcast was superior in many ways. It had interesting games. It had Shenmue and Shenmue 2, but never.
A lot of the games that were ported from the Dreamcast to the PS2 weren't as good when they were on the PS2.
No, PS2 was, I believe, not quite as powerful, despite coming out later.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Dreamcast, and, people saying that the Wii U will be the next Dreamcast, Iwata, the president of Nintendo, says the timing is not what's important for the Wii U. It's its price. And he's probably right on that. I mean, the 3DS had a very bad launch because it was expensive. And there weren't very many games. They're fixing the games problem with the Wii U, and if it's priced right, it will sell quite well.
Another thing with the 3DS, though, is a lot of people don't actually want to play a 3D game.
Yeah.
It's on a handheld thing.
No.
That gives people eyes bleeding.
It hasn't caused
If you're under 5.
Yeah, that's because the eyes are still in development and things like that, so...
At the same time, two people wearing glasses. At the same time...
yeah. Funny
little
that.
Kids are the ones who are going to want, 3D handheld. They're the ones who are going to want that.
Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where the point is, where it's the parents' job to know what's good for their kids. I mean, it takes a little bit of research, and...
At the same time, Llama, do you ever pay attention to how many parents complain about problems that they can solve just by being a more attentive parent?
Yes, I do pay attention to that, and it's ridiculous.
It's like, dude, if you don't want them watching that, don't watch it. If you don't want them playing that, don't let them play that. You're the one who has the money to pay for the stuff that they're getting. What are you doing? Yes. I didn't know you killed people. Let's call it Grand Theft Auto. What did you think was going to happen?
Oh, I thought you...
Kill some hookers.
That's a good point.
It's just so many things that parents can... Parents should be more attentive, but at the same time... No, parents should be more attentive. You can't complain about what's going to happen in something, and then parents... No. No. Be a better parent.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's only so much that an industry can do without being the parent.
Yeah.
At some point in time, someone's got to be the grown-up and be the parent.
Yeah.
And if the parent doesn't want to be it, well, then don't have kids. That'll solve the problem right there.
That can't even seem to be helped anymore.
No, it can't, unfortunately, but...
Everybody.
So sad. So sad.
And, if you agree with me, go out and buy a Dreamcast right now. If we buy enough Dreamcasts, they might make Dreamcast 2.
Well, they did come out with a fresh batch not that long ago, about 2 years ago.
I know, it's amazing. And the last game for the Dreamcast was made last year, I think, or the year before. Last ever game for the Dreamcast was made last year, or 2 years ago. It was made within the last 2 years. And it was, I think, it only came out in Japan. Dreamcast was much bigger in Japan than it was in America.
Oh, by significant margins.
So, but at the same time, shooting games are bigger in America than they are in most places. That's because America.
Yeah.
We were founded on guns.
Yeah.
The truth of it, we were founded on guns.
It did help. Anyway, was there anything else in this story that I wanted to be... Well, Nintendo's confident that they're doing the right thing, because they're doing their own thing, and that's what they've always done, really. I mean, if you've followed Nintendo's products, that's what they do. They do their own thing.
I do disagree with them slightly, though, that it's not the timing, it's the price. I'd say it's both.
It's a bit of both. I mean, it's not that they want to be first, it's that they think the Wii's been out there long enough. Which really, realistically, it's, on average, this is about the time you start coming out with a new cycle. The PlayStation 2 was just exceptionally long. I mean, I think that cycle was 8-10 years?
The original GameCube, not GameCube, I'm thinking Microsoft, and I said GameCube. The original.
The Xbox came out in 2001.
Yeah, that seemed like a shorter cycle.
That was a very short cycle. The 2000.
It was their first console.
It was, and they came into it later, and they did well because Sega's Saturn had kind of died. Was it the Saturn or was it the Dreamcast? I forget which one comes first. It's
Dreamcast then Saturn. No, Saturn then Dreamcast.
I forget. They were both botched. They both ended up killing them.
That's awesome, though.
Oh yeah.
And I plan on picking up a new one soon because I stupidly sold mine for lunch money in middle school because I needed to buy food. Why did I choose food over video games?
You never choose food over video games. That would be ridiculous.
But yeah, it's the timing, and it's the price, because you can't have a console come out like, let's say, at a time that no parent wants to go out and buy people, I guess you should say. Like, it's not a holiday. It's not. It's not a holiday. So why would a parent be so eager to go get their child this thing? But at the same time, it's better to go get something when it's not a holiday.
Yeah.
So you don't get shot, and then someone steals your PS3 in the middle of Best Buy parking lot, which happens every year. Better security at these things, people. Jesus Christ! Every year, Sony gets shot for a console.
Yeah.
But no one ever shot for a car.
No. Well, that does happen. Not as often. But
that just shows where our world's going.
Yeah, unfortunately, video games are becoming a bigger and bigger thing, bigger form of entertainment.
That's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I mean, I learned so much from video games growing up. The few educational video games I did play, Spy Fox was one. I don't remember what I learned, but I learned something.
See, I grew up playing a lot of, let's see, I think the actual only edutainment game we had was Oregon Trail, and we had a blast with that. It was a blast. You never knew what was going to happen. You never knew if you were going to make it. Everyone could die of dysentery within a week. I think that happened several times. The good old days of when you...
Video games helped you read. Well, they used to help you read, because back then they didn't have voice acting, so you had to actually learn how to read to continue the video game. I learned how to read just to beat Ocarina of Time. I mean, video games back in the day, they were, even if they weren't meant to be educational, they did help with education. Nowadays, not so much.
Well, it was also more of an art back then. I mean, you could create your entire game engine around what you were planning to do. You didn't have to rely so much. It was less of a research and development project and more of an art on how you placed it together. You had more creativity on how you wanted things to go.
And nowadays
it's more, oh my god, graphics. And that takes so much time, so much money.
Yeah,
that
people want it to be art, but it ends up not.
Yeah, you end up putting so much time into these things and so much money that unless you sell millions of copies, it's just not worth it. Unless you're Call of Duty, in which case you can recycle things that you've already done forever.
Like they always do. But there are, like, for instance, like each game back then, almost each game used to have the same engine almost. Not the same, different engines for that game. Nowadays, most games, like, it's either Havoc or it's
either Unreal or Unity's becoming big too.
Yeah.
So
which a funny little thing about Havoc, it started out as a grad project.
Yeah.
And then that dude just got millions.
The Havoc's physics engine is phenomenal, as with its other things. I mean, that's what really helped Half-Life 2 be as good as it was.
Because the Havoc and Source.
The Havoc and the Source it combined into a fusion of just awesome.
But then again, when it came out, it's physics! Look at this physics! Physics!
Catch the box with the gravity gun! Why?
He's over here to make that raise up! It's physics! Ah!
But then again, Half-Life 1 had its physics puzzles as well. Not quite as many, but, you know.
No. Half-Life too is like it's physics the game.
Physics the game, yes.
Ah, wrong light. Go down.
There we go.
There
we go. Physics. I think we got one more. I have one more thing. Do you have anything else, or shall we move on to Fez?
Oh, I got two.
Okay, let's move on to one of yours then.
Okay, now I'm sure at least half of you have heard of this one now. It's Oya.
The
Oya.
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 Eeyore. However you pronounce it.
It is the new open source gaming console that they want to come out. That's going to be $99.
And they're going to have to rush production because it's supposed to come out in March, and they supposedly have a prototype. No one's seen it outside the company, which is slightly suspicious, but...
It's supposed to run on Android OS, and it's supposed to have open source games, and to make it, all they wanted was 95,000.
They got 5 million.
9,050.
I thought it was 9,905.
950,000. There you go. But what they got was 5,286,992.
Yep.
What the fuck? See, now this, like, it's interesting that someone else. It's interesting that somebody's actually trying to make another console to go out there. I mean, I know there's another console that supposedly Mexico and other people have. It's not a very good console, but there is a console that some people have. It's not really big, but this is an open source console, so that they actually want you to take it apart and do stuff with it and develop your own games with it and do it that way. So, like, you, the consumer, are making games that you want to play and that you can, at the same time, let other people play by, I assume, submitting it to them or uploading it to some...
Yeah, they haven't...
There.
I don't think they've actually discussed how they're going to be doing the software bit of it. And that's going to be the hardest part, is getting the software services to run on all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it may run on Android and it may run well. That's just your operating system. You're not talking about all the services, all the other softwares to get everything else to work.
Yeah. But the thing is, I find this interesting that someone is making another console, and at the same time, it's not a big name. There's just these guys that haven't really done anything, so it's like, let's make a console. And that's what they're doing. And it's open source nonetheless, so that's like a huge community right there that they're going to have if they actually do make this game. Now, if they don't make this console, and they have all that money, I can think of 41,000 people plus who are going to kick their ass.
Or going to try to. I mean, it's very hard to find them if they take a private jet out of the country, because they now have $5 million.
At the same time, they've posted their faces on the internet.
Yeah.
We will find them, and we will hurt them.
Very likely. But
and we will spend that money to bring back the Dreamcast. Come on, people! Dreamcast!
You and that Dreamcast, but it's always useful to take something with a little bit of salt. I mean, this thing has great potential. You know, just to be another great piece of cheap kit. I mean, it's basically... The hardware is a high-end smartphone. There's nothing else to say about it. That's basically what the hardware is.
It is a smartphone, but at the same time, like, your smartphones can do so much.
They can. And this might help bring some more hardcore games into the Android market, which, trust me, as an Android user, is horribly lacking. There's about 3.
I don't think I play any games on my Android, even though I have paid for some. I'll play them, and I just can't keep playing them after that.
Yeah,
it's mostly the touchscreen for me, honestly. It's mostly the touchscreen.
I agree, but
that's why they made new little things that you can actually hold them in your hands now and have buttons.
However, yet the game has to support those, and even the real popular accessories that use that aren't very often. There's not a lot of support for those. I mean, and the hardest part with this Ouya is the games are going to have to support whatever controller they come up with, which they're going to have a minefield to wade through when they start actually designing the stupid thing.
Right now, what the concept of the controller they have looks like a very thin X